Hey everybody, welcome back to Art with J Dot. My name is JD and also known as J Dot. Today we're going to do a quick watercolor lesson. Little has to do with a little bit of lighting and just playing with some colors. Very basic. Just gonna do a cube and we're gonna just do some colors. Play with it real quick. Shouldn't take too long. Supplies needed: paper, Sharpie, watercolors, brushes, a brush, and that's it. I might have forgot something, but we'll figure it out when we get on the table. Okay, so grab your stuff, let's get a seat, and let's get painting. All right, so here we go. I've made a cube. I did this one super fast, as you can see. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna use a few colors. I just wanna kind of play with the concept of light. So I have this sketchbook here. It's this mixed media. It's thicker paper. I like to use for watercolor markers. If you have typing paper, I would just recommend using a couple sheets so it'll soak up that water. We're not gonna get too wet on it. And I have a Sharpie, my book, a cup of water, some paper towels, my brush. I've got this round brush here. I've got my watercolors, and any type of watercolors you have will work just fine. Let's get going. First thing first, I'm gonna take my paper. I'm gonna work horizontal here, as you can see, and we're gonna make a cube. So at the top-ish portion of the paper, I'm gonna make like a side, I don't know why, but in my mind, I think of a diamond like this sitting vertical. I guess it could go either way, however you want to think of it. But I'm gonna push it to its side like horizontal. So I'm gonna make this sideways diamond. Just like this, I'm gonna connect. And then from here, I've got these points. I'm gonna just drag down 3 lines that are all gonna be the same size, relatively. So this one's gonna come down a little bit further because this point's lower, and then this one's gonna be the same as the one on the far left. And then I'm gonna take my marker and I'm just gonna connect the dots. It doesn't have to be perfect, straight, it's just so we have an object. So what I wanted to do was think about light. So you don't have to draw this, but I'm going to for this little exercise. Think of the sun being somewhere in this area, and it's coming down and shining light here, okay? Which means that most of the light's gonna hit the top. You're gonna have a little shadow here, but most of the darker shadow, I believe, in my mind, is gonna be on this edge of the cube. So let's start with the top here. I'm gonna go with a yellow or a gold or an orange, probably brighter, probably more of a yellow if you got it. I probably went a little too dark, but that's all right. I'm gonna bleed in some. That's what's fun about watercolors. You can just keep kind of pushing color around and adding stuff and kind of get some cool things going. So there, I've got this yellow on the top, and then I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna kind of try and stay in my lines. And I'm gonna pick up more of a, let's go more of a red. This is like a red-orange, huh? That's all right. I can live with that. I'm gonna add a little bit of red here. And why is this a little bit darker than that? A little bit different of a shade, because I feel like the sun's here and it's blasting that light on the top of that cube. And this is catching a little bit of the shadow. Hey guys, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. Don't forget that you can support J Dot by going online and getting yourself a t-shirt, or I have prints and tons of art available. So check it out. Links in the bio. Thanks for following along. Now this being the darkest, I'm gonna hit it up with some purple. You could do blue if you wanted to. I think that would look good too, but I'm gonna stick with the purple. And now I'm gonna throw in my shadow, which I'm gonna stick with the purple. So if it's coming at this angle, I'm gonna cut from this corner I'm not going to go straight down, but since it's darker on this direction, I'm going to follow this line in that direction, like that. I'm going to grab this corner and I'm going to go parallel. I'm actually going to bend this out a little bit further as shadows kind of, I feel like they bleed out the further they get. On this, it's going to anyways. And then, so what I'm going to do, we're going to play with this water here. So I'm going to use the same consistency of water and paint that I did on this portion. Now, when I get to about here, I'm going to fill in right about here, I think. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fill in all these little white spots, is I'm going to use more water and less paint. And I'm going to kind of push out this paint a little bit. And now I'm just going to use water. I'm going to keep pushing out the paint a little bit. See how it's thinning out as the shadow grows. And if you keep working it, now I'm just going to keep using just water. And then, I guess the line's kind of a goof, but as I apply more water, it kind of dissipates. So I'm just going to keep pushing it out and see how it kind of gives that, where it's heavier right at the object, and then the shadow kind of disappears because some of that light is breaking it up from my light source. I'm going to get a little detail, and I'm going to grab a little bit of orange and just kind of, on this side, I'm just going to kind of dot this, and I'm going to get rid of some of that. I'm just going to wash out that paint, and now I'm going to just have water, and I'm going to kind of bleed that in towards this side by dabbing it. Just give it a little texture, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this darker red, and I'm kind of going to do the same thing on this darker side of this face of this cube. And I'm just going to kind of blot some dark red, and then I'm going to wash out my brush a little bit, just rinse it. And then I'm just going to have water on my brush, and I'm going to kind of just bleed it back towards the lighter side. And now on this dark face, I'm going to pick up some of this dark blue that I have over here. And I'm just playing around, and then I'm just going to kind of blot, just kind of give this some texture. And then on this edge, I'm going to take that blue, and I'm actually going to follow this contour. And I'm going to put in this, and then I'm going to kind of push this blue out, and it makes it just a little bit darker. Now I'm just rinsing it out. Now I'm just using water to push out this last bit of blue. And there you have it. Now you got a cube with some light shining on it. Good job. All right. Well, thanks for following. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for following along. We'll see you next time on Art with JD.